The Premier will visit Nanaimo tomorrow, and rail supporters in the harbour city are hoping she brings her checkbook with her. Passenger service on the E&N Railway has been out of commission over safety concerns since March because the rail line is in dire need of upgrades. The Island Corridor Foundation needs $15 million and wants it to come from the provincial and federal governments, and hopes Christy Clark comes through with BC's share when she arrives tomorrow. Our Mid-Island Bureau Chief Jonathan Bartlett has the story. He joins us now live in our Nanaimo newsroom with details. Jonathan.
Hudson, no one's spilling the beans yet, but the Premier has chosen the Nanaimo train station to make the announcement. And we all know what's on the Island Corridor Foundation's wish list.
This is the current state of train service on Vancouver Island. Via Rail Bud cars wrapped in tarps, in storage at the Wellcox Rail Yard in Nanaimo. The E&N rail line, too far gone for passenger service.
This has got to this state because of, in the past, companies that owned it not wanting to be here. And so you had trains in the passenger side going in the wrong direction and inefficient. You had freight rates and structures such that people couldn't plan their businesses around it.
An announcement tomorrow could bring some hope to the historic E&N.
It's something we've been thinking about for a while, and I know it really matters to people on Vancouver Island. So stay tuned on that.
Premier Christy Clark is making an announcement tomorrow at the Nanaimo train station. It's expected she'll pledge $7.5 million of provincial funding to help keep Island Rail alive.
We had made an application in October to the federal government, the provincial government, for an investment of $15 million into the rail infrastructure. And tomorrow we're looking for an announcement that gets us along that way, we hope.
The government funding will pay for a replacement of 104,000 rail ties between Victoria and Courtenay, as well as an engineering audit for deteriorating bridges and trestles.
$15 million is just an interim amount needed to get the passenger service back on this line. Over the next 10 years, over $100 million needs to be invested in the E&N Railway.
But Graham Bruce says that won't be all taxpayers' money. It's hoped that with revitalized infrastructure and a reverse passenger schedule, this rail line could become an economic generator.
So this $15 million gets us the future to be able to build from it. We will build on that incrementally, whether there's improved intercity service that happens, whether there's a major freight contract, a hauling of aggregate from Victoria or from Up Island to Victoria. We would rebuild the track on an incremental basis to eventually achieve that $100 million.
Meanwhile, the Nanaimo train station, currently under renovation, and the site of tomorrow's announcement looks better than it has in decades.
The Island Corridor says that with the right announcements by both the provincial and federal governments, the passenger service could be back up and running by the fall. As far as reversing the schedule so that the train runs from Nanaimo to Victoria in the morning instead of the other way around, Graham Bruce expects they'll be able to announce that in the fall with the new trains promised by Via Rail for January of 2012. So we'll see what happens tomorrow morning.
We'll be there, Jonathan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jonathan Bartlett live in Nanaimo.